So, word on the street is Diddy been trying to warn his so-called brothers, Jay-Z and Kevin Hart, from behind bars. But instead of riding for him, they out here playing ghosts. Now, we all know Diddy ain't no saint, but the idea of him sending out warnings instead of dragging folks into his mess, that's a curveball nobody saw coming. We know this because there was bail hearing that just happened and upset most of the folks that want to see Diddy rot in jail, because it looked like the judge was shutting down prosecutors. They said Diddy was smiling in court. But we'll get into that in a minute, because if Diddy was thinking Jay and Kev was loyal to him, if he was banking on them to pull some strings and help him out, he's about to have that smile wipe the F off his face. Because the tea is Jay and Kevin have been distancing themselves, like really cutting him off. And get this, there's even talk Jay might be gearing up to file divorce papers on Beyonce, because Diddy's got tapes of her and his freak-offs that might or might not be in the Fed's possession. Child, let's break this all the way down, because this tea is piping hot.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even. I don't want it to come close to the bed.
Now, if we talking about Kevin Hart, let's just keep it a buck. This ain't his first rodeo when it comes to people side-eyeing his loyalty. Y'all remember when Cat Williams called him out for being a Hollywood pawn. Cat didn't hold back when he said Kevin was willing to do whatever it took to climb the ladder, even if it meant putting on a dress, which he did. And while some folks might have brushed it off as industry shade, others saw it as Cat spilling some real tea about just how deep Kevin moves behind the scenes. That same energy got people looking at Kevin sideways right now. Kevin built his empire by playing nice with all the right people, kissing the right rings, and knowing when to distance himself from trouble. He's a master at playing the game, and if cutting ties with Diddy means saving his brand and securing his family, he's gonna do it without losing a wink of sleep. And you gotta respect it in a way. Kevin's the kind of guy who learned early on that loyalty in Hollywood is about as real as a green screen backdrop. He's been through his fair share of scandals like the cheating debacle, the Oscars backlash, and those old tweets that came back to haunt him. Through it all, he stayed standing because he knew when to apologize, when to pivot, and when to cut folks off. But here's where it gets tricky. Diddy ain't built like that. He ain't about to let Kevin slide without consequences. Diddy's the type to sit back, take notes, and wait for the perfect moment to strike. If Kevin really flipped on him, it's only a matter of time before we see Diddy's camp start leaking stories that make Kevin sweat buckets. Imagine Diddy airing out how Kevin got his start in the industry, or the favors he had to call in to get his foot in the door, or anything he might have did in those freak-off parties. You think Cat's comments about Kevin were bad? Diddy got receipts, and if he's feeling petty, which we all know he is, he'll drop them like a mixtape. And don't forget, Kevin's got that squeaky clean family man image he's always trying to protect. Diddy could blow that up in a heartbeat, because Diddy knows the game better than anyone. If Kevin's playing checkers, Diddy's probably out here playing 4D chess. So Kevin might think he's dodging a bullet by cutting ties, but in reality, he's just giving Diddy a reason to aim straight at him when the time comes. And when that happens, it won't just be Kevin catching heat, it'll be everyone who stood by and watched, including Jay, especially Jay. And this one cuts deeper, because I can't think of a time when Jay and Diddy wasn't tight as thieves. They've been on everything together since the Pac and Biggie era went poof. But let's keep it real, none of this should surprise y'all. This is the same man who tossed Kanye to the wolves before the media even turned on him. Jay's always been about self-preservation, and if that means throwing someone under the bus to protect his empire, he'll do it without batting an eye. What makes this wild is how strategic Jay has always been. He's built a fortress around himself and his family, but the streets are buzzing that Beyonce might be the weak link. Allegedly, her name been popping up too often in Diddy's mess, and that could be why Jay's reportedly considering cutting her loose. Divorce rumors ain't new for them, but if there's even a grain of truth to this, it could be a move to protect the Carters' legacy. Diddy, meanwhile, has been scrambling to get out of jail, but his latest bail hearing had folks scratching their heads. The judge was way too friendly, almost like Diddy's team got a little extra help. But even if he gets out, don't think for a second he's letting it slide. Jay and Kevin might have turned their backs on him, but Diddy's the type to hold on till he can hit back when it hurts the most. And that might take a while, because Diddy is fighting battles on multiple fronts, and old demons are rearing their heads for a chance at a lick back. Y'all remember Shyne?
I didn't want to do the Diddy documentary. Obviously, there's a history there. He did things to me, to my family, that devastated my family. But I didn't want to tell that story. It's ironic that that story is telling itself right now as this story is coming out.
Shyne's been working on a documentary about that infamous 1999 nightclub shooting. If y'all remember how that went down, Diddy walked free and Shyne took the fall. Now, Shyne's reportedly ready to spill it all and Diddy is panicking. Sources say Diddy's been pulling every string he's got left to block the documentary, but Shyne ain't backing down. But Diddy's camp been saying that Diddy don't want to block it, they only want to make sure he's straight with the real truth about what really happened that night. Yeah, right. And this is just one of the reasons why any revenge plans against Jay and Kev might have to wait, because if Shyne is able to get the public interested in that wild chapter of hip-hop bad boy history, it's going to have a heck of consequences for a lot of people. Not just Diddy, y'all know how deep J-Lo was in this case. Don't play now. This ain't just a career-ending move for Diddy, it's a legacy-destroying one. But it gets worse because there's another character that's been trying to release a Kim Porter tell-all memoir. That character in question is some guy named Courtney Burgess, and he released the book under the pseudonym Jamal Millwood. This Burgess guy was also recently revealed to be a witness in the federal case against Diddy, where he was slammed by the lawyers for claiming to have tapes of Diddy with A-listers. Now, we don't know if this is just pure clout chasing, but he's serious enough to get the Combs household acting defensive. And according to TMZ, Christian and Quincy have been working with their family lawyers to block the book. And y'all gotta understand that they ain't saying that what that book says is false. No, they saying that they are rightful heirs and owners of their mother's intellectual property rights since her passing in November 2018. And for that reason, the alleged diary entries belong to them. The Burgess guy also said there was flash drives with some other crazy details that could bury the Combs family. And word is, while Christian and Quincy do not believe in the existence of such a flash drive, they have stated that if there is a device with any information, it would automatically belong to them because, yeah, they are their mother's heirs. Child like father like sons, right? Because that is just darn cold. Like if I found out my pops laid hands on my mom's and probably pushed her down the path that took her life, I would make my old man pay. But these kids out here defending their pops. Child, I'm tired, but Diddy can't afford to be, because if these attacks keep coming, if the documentary gets out, the book goes mainstream, it could shatter what's left of Diddy's reputation. And the timing couldn't be worse for him. With his legal battles piling up and his allies turning into enemies, Diddy's running out of moves. But don't get it twisted. If he goes down, he's taking as many people with him as he can. And that brings us back to Jay and Kevin. If Diddy gets bailed out, all bets are off. The same loyalty he was hoping for from Jay and Kevin could flip into pure spite. This man knows too much about too many people, and he's already shown he's willing to play dirty to save himself again and again. Kevin's squeaky clean image, that could crumble in a heartbeat if Diddy starts talking. And Jay's carefully curated legacy, let's just say there's a reason Beyonce's been so quiet lately. If Diddy decides to unleash what he knows, it could be a wrap for them both. But what do y'all think? If Diddy gets bailed out, who do you think he'll go after first? Do you believe Jay and Kevin really flipped on Diddy, or are they just protecting themselves? And finally, is this the beginning of the end for hip-hop's power players, or is it all just gonna blow over in a few years? Tell me what y'all think in the comments.